Today we're going to be talking about intelligence. You may have noticed it's been a while since my last video. That's because I'm working on other projects that are coming to an end. They're requiring a lot of my time right now, so I apologize for that. My intention is to do at least a video a week or every 2 weeks on a regular basis with some amazing topics, so don't unsubscribe yet. Okay, this is a pop quiz. So get a piece of paper and pencil if you want to follow along. These are all true and false questions. So answer true or false. Now, first, apples are better at waking you up in the morning. True or false? 1 pack a day smoker will lose approximately 2 teeth every 10 years. True or false? Babies are born without kneecaps. They don't appear until they're around 2 to 4 years old. The average housefly lives to the average housefly lives for about a month. True or false? A coat hanger is about 44 inches long when straightened. True or false? The real reasons ostriches stick their head in the sand is to search for water. Michael Jackson owned the South Carolina state anthem. True or false? Most of us have eaten a spider while asleep. True or false? By the way, I got this questionnaire in an email, and at the end of the email it says, all are true. So what's the point of these questions? Well, I don't know if they're true. It says they're true. I don't know if they're true. How don't I know? I didn't research them. Our culture has taught us to form an opinion without examining the evidence. On the news, they do this almost every day. They encourage us to come up with these opinions. Example, is Mr. Smith guilty or not? For a murder or whatever, What is your opinion? We want to know what you think. Well, first of all, they have no right to ask us these questions because we don't know all the evidence. Sure, you could form an opinion on anything, right? But if you don't know everything about it, what's the point? And logic isn't the answer either, because logic only works if you have all the information, right? And no matter how good your logic is, if you're missing information, you're not going to come up with the right answer, even though you're using logic. But the news does this all the time. Take a look at this. They ask Warren Buffett about Bitcoin, and he says Bitcoin is delusional. It attracts charlatans and blah, 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 blah. But the real truth here is he doesn't know anything about Bitcoin. He doesn't research Bitcoin. He doesn't know what the blockchain does, how it works, all the implications of that. So they ask him, is Bitcoin good? And so that's an example of asking your opinion on something that you haven't researched. Okay, it goes on all the time. Here's another one. I like this one. They ask Neil deGrasse Tyson about UFOs. Oh my God, this guy's so smart, Neil. So smart. They're asking him about something that he never studied. Maybe he saw a headline in a newspaper and it's like he rolls his eyes, doesn't study it. Another example, they do this constantly all the time, asking people about their opinion about subjects they don't know anything about. The highest form of ignorance is when you reject something you don't know anything about. Another quick analogy is, let's say there's a court case. You have the defendant, the people are trying to defend the person that's accused, and then you have the prosecutor, which wants to prove that he's guilty, right? Now, if you go to a court, if you're part of the jury, right, you're not just going to look at the defendant, and then when the prosecutor talks, completely ignore that, don't even listen to that, block your ears, and then make up your mind. Or the opposite. You're not going to block your ears when the defendant talks, but when the prosecutor talks, you hear everything he says. You're not going to do that, because then you won't have all the information. So why is the news doing this? That's a stupid thing that they do. You see, this may come as a shock to you, but news corporations, CNN, Fox News, All of them, basically. Believe it or not, the whole point of that news is to make profit. Yeah, it's to make profit. So what they do, they try and make you feel special. They try and get you involved. See? So, because if someone asks your opinion, oh, well, why? You make you feel special? Oh, well, you know. So to get you involved so that you like that news channel. So that you keep tuning in to that news channel. And that news channel wants you to be there to make money. So you can watch the commercials. That's how news channels make money. So if no one goes to the news to watch their news, then they ain't gonna make money. So they try a whole bunch of different things to make you feel special, to get you, hook, line, and sinker. Oh, look at that, they're asking for my opinion. It's like, to them, it's just a marketing thing to get, because they play with your emotions. Because the goal at the end of the day is make money, make profit. So what the news is doing, well, you can categorize that as being stupid, not intelligent. But what really is intelligence? Is it IQ? Is it how well you remember things? What intelligence really is an ability, a skill, a talent. That's what intelligence really is. All the different types of intelligence that we have. And there is many different types of intelligence. There's no such thing as, that guy's smart and he's going to know everything. No. He'll be smart in one category or two. Let's take a look at this chart. It's an intelligence chart. And it looks like the chart was made by Mark Vital. I don't know who that is. Anyways, you have some different types of intelligence. They're saying basically you got 9 different types of intelligences. Here, if we start at the top left, spatial intelligence. That's visualizing the world in 3D. Then you have naturalist, understanding living things and nature. You have musical, which is, to do with sounds, pitch, tone, rhythm, timbre. You also have logical and mathematical, which is, quantifying things, making, figuring out things, making hypotheses and stuff like that. Then you have existential, which is more like spiritual stuff, tackling the questions of why we live, why we die. And then there's also interpersonal, sensing people's feelings and motives, and bodily kinesthetics, which is, coordinating your mind with your body, right? And then there's linguistic, it has to do with language and expressing yourself and stuff like that, and understanding too, I guess. And then you have interpersonal, understanding yourself, what you feel, and what you want. I say there's a lot more than 9. For my next point, let's look at an audio equalizer. You must have seen these. They're made to adjust the sound, the frequencies of the sound. Often on a radio, you would see bass or treble. That's also a type of equalizer. You could add more bass or less, or add more treble and less to adjust the sound the way you like it. There's many different frequencies. Let's look at this equalizer at the bottom here. You have numbers at the bottom here, starting from 32, 64, 125, 250, as you could see. So the first one is 32. That's 32 hertz. That's low frequency. So by boosting that, you'll have more bass. 64 also, 125. By boosting those, it's more bass. But then it keeps going. You have 500, 1,000, 2,000, 4,000, 8,000, 16,000. And the higher you go, the more treble you get. When you incarnate into a container like this, in this case a human body, when you incarnate in there, you are taking a ride, okay, in a type of vehicle, human body anyways, and each vehicle, human body, is different, has different strengths and weaknesses. So if we can make the analogy to the equalizer again, let's look at the first example here. You have an equalizer, and instead of frequencies, it's ability or talents or intelligence. So the first one is math, see? Then over to the right, you got drawing ability. You have electronics ability, dancing, right? social, computers, and farming. Now, in this case, whoever incarnated in this body, he has a lot of skill or intelligence in farming. Not so much in the other ones, but farming, he has a lot of intelligence, so he would probably make a good farmer. Over here, next one is math. Math is up high, but as you can see, the other ones are in the middle. Let's call that average, I guess. So this guy's math, so he's going to be good, that's things to do with math. Maybe some kind of scientist, accounting, and stuff like that. Everything else, kind of average. This next container or vehicle, whoever incarnated in this one, they're really good at dancing. Moving, knowing where their arm is, where their legs are, rhythm to go with the music, motion. They're good at that. Everything else, kind of average. Next vehicle, they're good at drawing. They can draw stuff really good. Everything else kind of average. For a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree. All right? So the bird, well, he's not really going to climb it. He'll probably just fly up there. Monkey, no problem. You can climb that tree. Penguin, not really. Elephant, no. Fish, no. Seal, no. A dog, maybe some dogs. Most of them, no. All right? So that's our education system. Our education system is tailored to one type of thinking, one type of intelligence or talent. Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid. But that is our school system right now, because there are people that don't do well in the school system. And they're pretty smart. And there's other people that take, years and years, 10 years of university and stuff like that, and they're still idiots. They might know a certain field. They're still idiots. I mean, our education system needs to be like, look, I love learning new things. I love it, but I hated school. Figure that one out. Now for the next part. Some people are going to write comments about this one, but this is what I truly believe from my research is you must have heard the expression, you can be anything you want in life. When you grow up, you can do anything you want, even be the president, right? Hate to pop your bubble. That's not true. To be a president, you got to have certain, that equalizer again, right? You got to have certain intelligences that are high, like probably social interacting, communicating. Let me give you a better example. Let's say one guy says, oh, I want to be a guitar player when I grow up. I want to be in a band and play guitar, right? Well, every skill can be developed, right? You can go from here, and if you practice, you'll get better, okay? However, if you're born, that's the key, with that skill or intelligence or talent already, oh yeah, you might start off at the same place, but this guy's going to practice for a year, and he's going to go, let's try and fit this in the camera. He's going to go here, okay? But the guy who's not born with that skill, he's going to go maybe here. So yeah, you can improve. You could do whatever you want and get better at what you want. But some people just have the natural ability, and they will excel in that. Some people have a natural ability to be liked in a social scene and to talk a certain way so they get followers. And that's what a president has to do. A president has to talk in a way for people to like him. Not that he has the best ideas, because most of the time when you're president, you got a team behind you telling you what should be done, what shouldn't be done. So it's not that he has all the ideas. It's like a popularity contest. So if you're good at that, yeah, maybe one day you could be the president. But if you're not good at that, let me give you a different type of analogy. You're born into a Jeep. Let's just say, right? A Jeep is good for going off-road in the trails. Doesn't need pavement. It can go through mud, water, sand, trails, bumpy, right? Climb mountains, stuff like that. It's really good at that, a Jeep. So you'd say, well, Jeep's the best. What about a Lamborghini? A Lamborghini goes really fast. It's aerodynamic, goes really fast, top speed, accelerates well, takes corners well, right? So now which's better? Well, it's pretty obvious that the Jeep's going to do really well off-road, and it's not going to do well on a racetrack, on an asphalt racetrack. Probably flip on taking the corners, won't be able to stop real fast, won't be able to accelerate that fast as a Lamborghini. And the same thing with the Lamborghini. Take the Lamborghini and go off-road with it, it's going to get stuck, right? So what's better than the other? Which is better now? So if you're born into a vehicle like a Jeep, you'll be good at one thing, the off-road stuff. If you're born into a Lamborghini, you'll be good at racetrack stuff, asphalt racetrack stuff, going really fast. It's just to show you there's different things, different abilities for different occasions. There's no one car that exists that's good at everything and beats everything. And same with intelligence. There's nobody on the planet that equalizer that I showed you before, right? That equalizer, that's high in everything. Most people are high in one, or maybe some two, and if you're lucky, maybe three areas. But you're not going to have everything up in the equalizer. So you're not going to be good at farming, good at math, good at this, good at like a complete and utter, let's call it genius. That doesn't really exist. People are good at certain things. Everybody's different. Everybody gets incarnated into a different container, a different vehicle, which has advantages and disadvantages. So you have to view intelligence that way. You get incarnated into a body that has different intelligences or abilities or talent. I'm going to keep interchanging those words. I think that's the way it is. Let's say someone's born with the naturalist intelligence or ability or talent. It's understanding living things and reading nature, right? So this person, let's say he got born into a body, into a vehicle. Okay, let's look at the equalizer again now, right? That's good at naturalist. So he likes plants and stuff like that. Let's call it a green thumb kind of, right? However, he's not good at getting up early in the morning, which farmers have to do. He's not good at running equipment. He doesn't understand that, the mechanical part of running equipment and stuff like that. So even though you tend to think on a shallow level, oh, that guy is going to be a farmer, right? Because he's a naturalist. But because he doesn't have those other intelligences, or they're too low, he's not going to be a farmer. So for a lot of things in life, you got to have one or two or three things that work with you to excel in a certain, not always, but to excel in a particular area. So sorry, not everybody can be what they want to be. So that expression, you can be a president if you want to. It's not true. Maybe. By the way, educated doesn't mean you're intelligent. Take a look at this. I love this meme. I hate it when people confuse education with intelligence. You can have a bachelor's degree and still be an idiot. So people are trying to figure out what life is all about. What's life all about? People have different opinions. I think it's this. I think it's this. I think it's this, right? And they always try and ask smart people like Neil deGrasse or Warren Buffett for that matter. But you're never going to get the answer. And here's why. The way humans have been doing things on this planet for a long time, hundreds of years, if not more, it's all compartmentalized. Take a look at this. You got some scientists here, but they're all supposed to be in the dark. So you're supposed to picture that this is in the dark, pitch black. They don't see anything, or they're blindfolded, whatever. So you got one scientist there working in the front there. He's trying to figure out, what is this thing? Well, we know it's an elephant, but they don't. And they're trying to figure out, what is this thing? So he's touching the tusks in the front. And he says, it's a spear. And there's one on top playing with its ears. And he says, oh, it's a fan. Another one's looking at the trunk. Oh, it's a snake. The other person is looking at his leg. It's a tree. The other one, it's a wall. It's a rope. They're only looking at their own thing. The guy with the spear is not going around. He's staying in the front. It's a spear. And the guy in the back is staying in the back. It's a rope. So they all are giving their opinion on what it is. And as you could see, in this situation, if they were all blindfolded, they'll never figure out it's an elephant unless they move around and compare all the other areas. When you're trying to figure out how life works, being born, dying, while you're here, what's going on, the universe and all that, you can't look at one field. In other words, you can't look at somebody who's just studying the universe. You have to look at everything. You have to look at quantum physics, and then you have to look at near-death experiences, and then you have to look at aliens and alien abductions. Then you have to look at all different areas, and then you can put the pieces together, and that will give you a much more accurate result of how things work. But they don't. They keep things separated, compartmentalized, and there's nobody except some YouTubers like me maybe looking at the data or the results of all these fields and trying to put them together and come up with a conclusion. And now with the scariest one of them all. This is a thought experiment. Imagine this. You live in a world where only one type of person can make lots of money. Let's say billions of dollars. Okay? Only one type of person, or one type of intelligence, talent, skill, whatever you want to call it. And let's pick a talent that's going to make all this money. Just randomly, a ballerina. Okay? So a ballerina in this world that I'm talking about, right? It's only that skill, ballerina, where you can make billions of dollars. Okay? So one skill to make all that money. You're a billionaire, you have a lot of power and freedom. Matter of fact, you have so much money, you can control governments and what laws come into effect, what laws don't, and so forth. And to protect yourself. So you're a billionaire from one skill, meaning ballerina, meaning you better be good at ballerina. That's the only way you're going to make a lot of money. Everybody else in this world, that I'm giving an example, bakers, politicians, carpenters, mechanics, janitors, accountants, all of those make peanuts in this world I'm talking about. Because the one skill that you need is ballerina. So if you're really good in ballerina, you're going to make billions. So in other words, if you're born into a container that has the ability and talent and intelligence to be a ballerina, you're going to have billions of dollars. But of course you could say, well, people could always learn to be ballerina. Yeah, of course you could always learn and improve, even though you're not naturally have talent, you can improve. And like I said, some people will improve this much, some people will improve that much, some of that. Most won't improve a lot if it's not your natural skill that you're born into. So in this world, I'm talking about this thought experiment, in this world, only ballerinas get to be billionaires or hundreds of millions of dollars. Everybody else works paycheck to paycheck, basically. Doesn't matter what area, race car driver, I don't care. Just follow me, you'll understand and you see where I'm getting at. Let's change this thing. Still, let's pick one skill where you're going to make all the money. Let's pick chess player. If you're a good chess player in this world, all right, in a world that we're just creating, in that world, we'll just choose something, chess. So if you're born into a vehicle container that's very good with a chess, natural ability, natural talent at chess, and of course you're going to develop that because you like it, and because you like it, you're good at it, and because you're good at it, you like it, and so forth. And then, well, you're going to be a billionaire. So if you're born into a container that's very good at chess, you're going to be a billionaire. All right, I'm going to give you one more example. Let's say in this world that we're just imagining right now, we declare that if you're a good basketball player, you will be a billionaire. You will make all the money and be a billionaire, right? So if you're born into a container and you're a good basketball player, naturally you're going to go to the top and you will be a basketball player, a good basketball player, right away. So, because everybody can play basketball, right? But a good professional level basketball player. So that person that's born into the container where you have the skill, moving in 3D, the ability for your body to move certain ways and stuff like that, understanding rules and understanding strategies and stuff like that. That basketball player, one skill, will make billions of dollars. Everybody else on this planet that I'm talking about, I don't care what it is, in this thought experiment, it's only the basketball player that's going to make billions of dollars. Everybody else, I don't care if you're a brain surgeon, whatever, you're going to work paycheck to paycheck, right? Now, that's ludicrous, isn't it? Isn't that completely stupid to have a world like that? Isn't it completely nuts to have a world where one skill, if you're good at one particular skill, a preset, pre-made skill that we all decided, if we're good at that, like the examples I gave you, then you will make billions of dollars. That's insane, isn't it? I think it's insane. But guess what? That's how the world works. This world is based on one skill to make a lot of money. And that skill is finance. If you're good at finance stuff, meaning saving, budgeting, investing, earning, and all that, anything with finance, right? If you're born into a container that has that intelligence, that ability, you are going to make billions of dollars. They understand all that. They understand planning, budgeting, saving, investing. It comes natural to them. They love it. One skill or one skill set, but I'm just going to call it a talent, a skill, an intelligence, I'm going to call it. That's all that's required. It doesn't matter if you are a photographer. It doesn't matter if you are a chess player, a ballerina. It doesn't matter. If you don't have the finance skill, you are not going to make money in this world the way it's set up right now. And guess what? Most people don't have that skill. Just like most people don't have the ballerina skill, being good at ballerina. Most people don't have the skill of being good at basketball. You see where I'm getting at? But in this world that we live in, the actual world that we live in, it's only one skill that's going to decide how much money you make. I knew a mechanical engineer that made 6 figures and he was broke. He doesn't understand all that to do with finance. It's a big. Now, I know what you're saying. You're saying, well, we could always learn where to invest and how to save, budget. Yeah, you may improve that much. You may improve that much or that much. But you're never going to be as good as the person that was born into the vehicle that has that intelligence. See what I'm trying to say? So we live in that world. One skill. So one skill should not determine if you drive a Ferrari or are homeless on the streets. But if you look around you in statistics are around 80% live paycheck to paycheck. Guess why? They don't have the finance skill. And most people don't have the finance skill. 1% are really good at it. You must have heard of the 1%. There's maybe another 5-10% that are not too bad. And the rest of us, no. The rest of us, we don't have that skill. So it doesn't matter if you're good at carpentry, cooking, whatever, painting, accounting. It doesn't matter if you're good at that. You'll live paycheck to paycheck, most people, unless you have that finance skill. So to me, it's nuts that we live in a world where that's the truth. We accept it. Maybe we don't think about it enough. We accept it. It's like one skill. You don't have to know. You could be those people on Wall Street that make billions or hundreds of millions. They have that skill. They're there. Don't ask them to play chess. Don't ask them to do ballerina. Don't ask them to cook. Now, some of them maybe know how to be a ballerina. I don't know. But I'm saying the world works currently. One skill gets you all the money and power. And to me, that is nuts and has to change. So these people that have that skill, the finance skill, right? They're the ones that are going to control the planet. They're the ones that make new laws come into reality. They change laws. They have all the power and the money. They don't cut coupons, right? They have all the money and control. That's the problem with it. Why do we allow a person that's good at one skill, getting those zeros in your bank account, right? That skill, which is the finest skill. Why do we allow them all the money and power? Well, power, because money is power. Why do we do that? I don't get it. Well, what about people that are very caring and empathetic toward others? Why don't we give them all the money? Just a thought. So what do I want you to take away from this video? I want you to understand that don't get caught up when the news asks for your opinion. What, do you think he did it? Is he innocent, not innocent, or whatever? Don't get caught up in that. What you got to do is realize that it's going on and talk to your friends about this, that it's going on and it's completely stupid. Also, I want you to take away from this video is focus on your strengths. Maybe you don't have the ability to be a flamenco guitar player or a pianist. Or maybe you don't have the ability to be a great basketball player, right? Focus on what you're good at. Look at what you're good at. Develop those things. Everybody's good at something. Everybody, I don't care, has some kind of strength. Find out what it is and develop that. That's what you should be doing. And actually, they should be doing this from kindergarten. But our schools are not like that. I showed you the graph before. It's one type of thinking, one type of person is going to do well in school. Even though the other person has so many talents, the way the school is set up, it's not going to bring it out of him. So focus on your strengths and not your weaknesses. Final thing I have to say is, what is the most important type of intelligence? And if my opinion, if you ask me, is the most important type of intelligence is empathy. The ability to feel what someone else is going through. The ability to detect if someone else is suffering or not doing well. If more people would have that intelligence, I think things would change on the planet for the better. Like since I was a kid up till now, people in Africa are still starving. But there's billionaires around the world. They have so much money, they just buy yachts like it's kind of going out of style for $200 million just for their own purpose. There's so much money in the world to solve all the problems. But I guess they don't have the empathy, like they don't care about other people. They don't have the intelligence. They weren't born into a vehicle that gives a about other people. So I think the most important intelligence is empathy. The intelligence of to care about other people and what they go through, their quality of life, care about others. So if you like this video, subscribe, share, like it, and well, I'll see you next time on Raise Your Frequency. All right, I think that's good.